Onwards, we move to Bomberman Battle Pack 2, with a new redesigned logo. Pack 2 first appeared on Bomberman Land Touch 2. Land Touch 2 is quite similar to Land Touch 1. We explore a theme park and beat minigames. We can play minigames with other people, and this time there is an option in-game to see if someone else is hosting. The minigames support multi-cart play and download play at the same time. So I'm hosting here, one console running the game can connect, another console using download play can connect, everyone can play together without a hitch. Well, there is one oddity worth pointing out. If I'm hosting from the European version, the North American and Japanese versions won't find me hosting. DS games aren't region restricted for the purposes of running them on various consoles, but these regional releases are not cross-compatible with each other. Might have something to do with there being different publishers in different regions. They are shown when booting the game, so technically the data is different on each cartridge. So if you and a friend find yourselves with two cartridges and trying to play together and you are hosting, if your friend's cartridge is from a different region, you have to tell them to shut down the game and use download play. Okay, that rant out of the way, Battle Pack 2 is here in the main menu. It does not tell us to use button controls when we boot it, as Pack 2 can be navigated with both buttons and touch controls again. Nice. Bomberman Story DS has been introduced, but this time it is also released in Europe, but not North America, but trust me, you're not missing out on much. And this European release has Pack 2 on it. Interesting situation with the manual here. In Japan, Pack 2's manual was only included in Land Touch 2. In English-speaking regions, that manual is in Land Touch 2 and Story DS, and there are two different English translations of it, phrasing things slightly differently. While EU Story DS uses the same in-game images that JP Land Touch 2 did, NA Land Touch 2 uses different images. Also, where North America points out Pack 2 isn't compatible with Pack 1 on Land Touch 1, European Story DS points out it isn't compatible with Pack 1 included on Land Touch 1 and other games, which is what it says in the Japanese manual, but outside of Japan, Pack 1 wasn't included on any other games besides Land Touch 1, so North America corrected it for the region while Europe didn't. And where Land Touch 2 has this image of a top hat and glasses from Star Bomber who appears in the game, EU Story DS changed it to this little Bomberman looking up at us. Okay, enough with the manuals. Booting Pack 2, we find ourselves in a brand new main menu, with scrolling Bomberman heads in the background. Remember that one, it's gonna be important later. New music too. Let's go ahead and test cross-compatibility. Here I am running Pack 2 on European Story DS and Japanese, North American, and European Land Touch 2. When one of them hosts, the others can connect. There was no separate option to host for download play this time, because it's not separate anymore. Without backing out, another console can connect through download play. Finally, we have multi-cart play and download play at the same time and across all regions. Checking out our options, we have our wins and losses, friend code and roster for the online, ranking, we'll get to that. We can set a name here now. The game will default to whatever you set as your name on the console, just like the earlier packs, but now you can also set a name to be saved on the cartridge if you want. Setting controls is a new addition, remap buttons to your liking. We also see that our emotes have changed. Our cheering has been changed to a clapping sound, we can still boo, and we have the option to scream, so make sure to spam that as much as possible. Here are the sounds back to back in Pack 1 and Pack 2. One extra option is Auto Bomb, which determines whether you can simply hold down the bomb button and you'll place a bomb as soon as your last one explodes, and you have access to one, instead of having to time your bomb placement or mash the button to place a bomb at the earliest possible moment. Under My Rules, we can set a default rule set. We'll get to the rules, let's get a game started. Menu layout has changed a bit, and we, or the host in multiplayer, now have the option to fill all remaining player slots with computers in one fell swoop. Setting it hit multiple times will change their difficulty or turn them all off again. In addition to easy, normal, and hard, we can now set computers to super easy. Instead of a separate menu, Team Select is now a separate tab next to the character screen. The way we place characters has slightly changed. We can just choose where to put them instead of cycling through, but not much else. The Stage Select screen no longer forces us to scroll through all of the stages to get to the one we want. 20 stages are here, plus the random option, and we can simply select them by touching one with a touch pen. Thank you so much. The stages are color-coded here based on the type of battle that is fought in them. There is an extra tab here for stage size, which can be set to large or small. Large stages span both screens, while small stages are only on the bottom screen. Indeed, every single stage has two variants now. The mini stage from earlier packs has now morphed into a variant instead of a separate stage. You could argue this pack has 40 stages instead of 20. Moving on, our rule sets have been expanded again. Trophy and score options are back, and this time we can actually check what actions and events affected our score after every set. Thank you. Time and position hasn't changed much. Tiebreak/sudden death has been renamed pressure blocks, and it changes depending on whether we're playing on a large or small stage variant. On a large variant, it starts at 40 seconds left, and the blocks circle around the stage now instead of filling it up bottom to top. They also stop falling and leave a section in the middle after some time. They don't fill the entire stage. In a small stage, they start at 30 seconds. Also circling around, and this time they do fill the entire stage. Revenge is back, but this time it's only on or off. There's no super setting, although the super setting has become the on setting. Okay, so in past games, if it was off, there are no revenge carts. If you're dead, you're dead. If it's turned on, dead players can still throw bombs from the carts, but it doesn't bring them back, it just kills other players. Set it to super, and if your bomb thrown from the outside hits someone, you're back in. Here in Pack 2, turning revenge off is normal. If you're dead, you're dead. If you turn it on, then when you die and get on a cart, your bombs will bring you back into the stage if you hit someone. Pack 2 skips the middle ground on setting from past games, so there's only off and super, and this super has been renamed to on. Hope that makes sense. Really odd of them to remove an option. Also, revenge bombs are yellow now. We can toggle power downs, and we see that the speed down is no longer a sandal, but a skates with an arrow, more in line with the bomb down. Poor Sandal, you will be missed. I mean, Fire Down got to stay as a blue flame, what gives? On the topic of power-ups, you may have noticed throwing bombs was in the control set screen. That's right, the glove is finally back so we can throw bombs around again. And this time, World Wrap is back too, so throw them around the world. Penetrating bombs are back too, finally. We're still a long shot from having everything DS had though. Finally, we can toggle skulls again. Picking up a skull will cause a negative effect, and will make your character appear all dizzy, as well as have a skull above you. Pass it on to someone else and you will see they are affected by the skull. They'll appear dizzy too, though without a skull above them. That only appears on the player's own screen. Skulls are no longer passed on and removed from the original carrier. They are shared among everyone who touched, so all can join the fun. Skull bombs are back if two bombs are kicked together, but we still don't have the skull bomb power-up panel. In our tab next to the set rules, we can set handicaps. Up to 6 power-ups. Fire up, bomb up, speed up, kick are back, joined by the glove, piercing bombs, and heart. They didn't even have that in DS. Hearts, which allow you to tank a hit, only appear here in the handicap screen. They can't be found in stages. Our character sprites have also been changed. They appear yet larger and a bit more rounded than in Pack 1. Okay, what stages do we have? Normal has not changed very much. As mentioned, Mini has become Normal's small variant. There is a new rendition of the Generation battle music, which is now played in every stage that uses standard survival rules. Tunnels has been renamed to Pipes, has a few tunnels added in the center of each screen, and the small variant is just half of the large variant. Aesthetic-wise, we have brick walls. Conveyor Belt has an addition of 2 tunnels in the middle connecting the inner belts. The small variant has just 4 belts. Full power hasn't changed much, aside from us now having the extra power-ups of piercing bombs and the glove. Spikes is back, now sporting a ninja house aesthetic. Trapdoors is here, taking place in a different ninja house. The teleporters are not in the corner corners anymore, but in the top, bottom, right, and left center of each screen. They no longer take you to the same door in the opposite screen, but in the one mirrored from it across the gap between screens. So the right door takes you to the other right door, but the topmost door takes you to the bottommost door. The small variant has two disconnected rooms split across the middle. Again, the doors lead you to the other door mirrored across the split, so the leftmost door takes you to the rightmost door. Speedy is back, with no particular changes. Infernal also hasn't seen too many changes. Lots of items has returned, and we can see the skull and other items they re-added. The small variant has an interesting solution to accommodate for the inner spawning players. We then have a new stage called Mobius. All crossover fanfiction is canon now. On a chessboard-looking stage, Mobius's main gimmick is to have extra passages on the right and left that wrap back around to the other side. Slip sliding has ice physics, everyone's favorite. In an ice-snow area, if you walk one direction, you can't stop until you hit a wall. You can change direction towards a wall or soft block to stop that way, though. Kick has been renamed to Just Kick, and there are no more tunnels aside from the connecting ones. It takes place on one or two soccer fields, and it starts you off with a kick this time. The arrow positions are randomized instead of being the same every time. Blocks is back, but this time, instead of keeping your colored blocks when you die, you lose them and get revived. So really, it's the zombie stage from Pack 1. Zombie has been renamed to Blocks, and Blocks has been removed. We have a new rendition of Pack 1's Blocks music. Dark Blocks works much the same, except that it takes place in darkness. If one of your bombs explodes, it shows you the whole stage for a split second. Your field of view is increased the more of the floor you have painted in your color, which also means that, as we're using zombie rules again, if you die and respawn, you lose your panels and are left in the darkness. Stars takes place in this space station, and uses the new Stars rule set, meaning there are a bunch of star panels hidden in the stage, and you need to collect as many as possible. Whoever has the most when time is up wins. Stars are indestructible, and if you die, you respawn immediately, but your stars are scattered around the stage. The music used for the more gimmicky stages in Pack 1 sees a new rendition here. Dark Stars is quite similar to Dark Blocks, except that our field of view increases by collecting stars. Escape takes place in what looks like Greek ruins. Somewhere in the stage, there are a key and an exit gate. Find and pick up the key, run to the gate, and you win. No respawning. If you die, you're out unless you have revenge on, and the key can easily be taken from other players by bonking them or just running into them. We have a new rendition of the music used for more normal stages in Pack 1. Skull Escape is quite similar, except that carrying the key gives you a random skull effect, so it's more difficult to navigate to the exit gate. Crown Battle has returned, without too many changes. Its small variant has everyone spawning on the left and the crown on the right, much like it was in Bomberman Battles / Hardball. The Crown Battle music has also been given a new rendition. Merry-Go Crown has gotten rid of one of the conveyor belts for some reason. The random option will give us any of the 20 stages, but will not randomize whether we get a large or small variant. It also gives us a stage and then lets us set our rules and handicaps, like it did in Pack 1. That's 20 stages, just like we had in Pack 1, but things have changed. Mini-Mini is not removed per se, it's just become the small variant of normal. Unipass and Tripass are themed entirely around how the two screens are connected, so if every stage is to have a small variant, it doesn't make sense to have them, unless they split the bottom screen into two like they did for trapdoors, which they could have done, but they seem to want to have 20 stages, and they added some new ones, so a few stages with less interesting gimmicks had to go. Each of the alternate battle methods is to have just 2 stages instead of 3, so Full Power Crown and Kick Blocks are gone. Blocks is gone, while Zombie has been renamed Blocks, and Bomb is gone. Sorry, Bomb. We're left with 13 stages. Mix around the order, add the new ones, and we're back to 20 for Pack 2. Looking pretty good. A bunch of more interesting stages have replaced the less interesting ones. Bunch of new power-ups, though we're still far away from the stages and power-ups that DS had. Let's check out our online. Friend codes are still a thing, and we're assigned one if we connect once. New online music. We can update the ranking data on our console to see the top 8 players in the world. I don't know if this ranking has been running since the fan server was started or if it gets reset at any point, but these were the top 8 when I was recording, so congratulations to these guys. I do like how the Land Touch 2 manual puts characters from the game in the ranking. Instead of 4 options to end up together in a lobby that is going to be the same no matter which option we pick, we have separate things going on depending on whether we're playing with friends or randos. In Bomber Dojo, we can meet up with randos in a domestic battle, and I do like how North American Land Touch 2's manual says country, while European Story DS's manual says country or region, or we can look for players worldwide. Either way, the online still only goes up to 4 human players, and this time there are no AI players. It's human players only. Again, we can't set rules. It's always score with just one set. Instead of voting, a stage is just chosen randomly among all 20 stages. The ones with different battle rules are available this time, though it's always the small variant, never the large one. We can still spam emotes at the other players. After a match, we go back to the random stage select. Disconnected players will still stay in the lobby, but die at the start of every match, and the session ends when there's just one human player left. There was significantly less lag here than there was in Pack 1, so either my connection felt like doing a better job, or they improved the netcode for this one. Alrighty, let's try our improved friend battle. I still had to have every console add each other as a friend for them to be able to see each other, which was a bit tedious, but what you gonna do. Selecting friend battle, we can see if any of our registered friends is currently hosting a room or start hosting ourselves. That's right, it's not just the exact same as a lobby with randos. We actually have a host who can set rules and stuff. It still only goes up to 4 players, and aside from that, no computers and no teams, just like in the last one. All options are available here. The whole smorgasbord. All stages with their large and small variants, all options, all handicaps. The host can set everything. After a match, we have the option to chat with each other. We can either type out messages with a whole bunch of letters and symbols available, or we can use preset messages for some common sentences like good game or I gotta go. As these are preset, they are automatically translated when sent. So this console is playing a Japanese version of Pack 2. I send a preset message in Japanese, and it appears in English on my other console. A third option is voice chat, with that crisp DS microphone quality.
Hello.
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 Hello. I am Bomberman. Wonderful audio quality, is it not? I know, I'm one to talk.
Again, if someone disconnects, they will still remain in the session, forever dying at the start of every set. On the topic, in a local battle, this time around everyone gets an error if someone disconnects, which is a bit surprising. Overall, Battle Pack 2 has a much improved online compared to Pack 1. We can properly host now, we have better stages, more power-ups, though DS still had the most. As usual, no other iteration of the Battle Pack can connect to it, not in online either.